Hello everyone and welcome to Valamore Things. Feel free to follow me to see more of my content. Thank you and I hope you'll enjoy the video. Hello guys and finally welcome back for another gameplay video. Today we're playing Black and Red, so Rakdos Affinity, with some new toys given us by MH3, Modern Horizon 3. And these toys are pretty interesting. I find them quite probably better than the blue ones like Kozilek's Unsealing and the Eugene's Binding. So let's talk about them one for one. So the first one is an uncommon creature costing 1 black mana, Etherium Pteramander. So this thing is an artifact creature salamander with flying and can only block creatures with flying. Adapt 4 for 7 mana, but this ability costs us 1 less to activate for each artifact we control, so it kind of has affinity for artifacts. So the plan is to go like turn 2 or turn 3 Pteramander and activate as soon as turn 4 maybe, and swing for 5 damage. The second new tool we get from MH3 is Refurbished Familiar, another artifact creator with flying with affinity for artifacts. Costs 4 mana, 3 colorless and 1 black, 2/1 flying. When Refurbished Familiar enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. For each opponent who can't, we draw a card. So this is a card advantage engine and also a good beater. 2/1 flying. And this pretty much goes into the same slot as Frogmite, but I prefer to play 4 Frogmites for now, because of the next card we have in the deck, which is Crabomination, which is probably the main reason to play this deck right now. So Crabomination isn't an artifact, costs 6 mana, 5/5, but this thing has emerged from artifacts, 7 mana. We may cast this spell by sacrificing an artifact and paying the emerge cost reduced by that artifact's mana value. So it means that we can pay 3, sacrifice a Frogmite or a Refurbished Familiar, and cast this Crabomination. What's the ETB from Crabomination? So when Crabomination enters the battlefield, target opponent exiles the top card of their library, a card at random from their graveyard, and a card at random from their hand. We may cast a spell from among cards exiled this way without paying its mana cost. So this thing in a metagame filled with Eldrazi and Tron and big mana decks, and in general, Ajani, Flage, Necrodominance, Shieldred, the One Ring, so many things this thing can hit. And also works as a discard spell, so pretty damn good. Other than that, the last tune we get from MH3 is Imskir Iron Eater. So this thing costs 6 colorless mana plus 1 black and 1 red. Affinity for artifacts, legendary creature, demon. When Imskir Iron Eater enters the battlefield, we draw X cards and we lose X life, where X is half the number of artifacts we control, rounded down. This thing also has an activated ability which is pretty damn good. 4 mana, 3 colorless and 1 red. We sacrifice an artifact, Imskir deals damage equal to the sacrificed artifact's converted mana value to any target. So it means that we can cast this thing and next turn fling a Sojourner's Companion into the opponent's face for 7 damage, which is insane. So talking about the differences between blue affinity and this Rakdos affinity, basically Imskir goes into the list instead of Thought Monitor. It's almost the same. We draw like 3-4 cards maybe if you're lucky enough, and so it's almost a Thought Monitor on steroids. It costs 1 more mana, but it also has 2 huge upsides. One is the 5/5 against 2/2, and the other one is its activated ability. And Crabomination mostly goes into the synthesizer slot. So no synthesizer, but we play Crabomination. Synthesizer might be better, but Synthesizer alone does nothing, while Crabomination with Frogmite is a huge threat to the opponent. So after that, we have some new addition even in the sideboard. We play 3 Disruptor Flute, which is the best sideboard card that you can play at the moment. 2 mana artifact with flash. As Disruptor Flute enters the battlefield, we choose a card name. Spells with the chosen name cost 3 more to cast. Activated abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. We then play 4 Damping Sphere because Ruby Storm and Primeval Titan are huge part of the metagame, so Damping Sphere is the card to go at the moment. Curse Totem because, I don't know, perhaps Yawgmoth or some similar things can still be around, so perhaps we can cut this right now, but I'm not sure I will do that yet. So 1 Soul Guide Lantern against, Graveyard in general. Pirate Spellbound because we hate the goddamn Orcish Bowmasters. 2 Pithing Needle, I never know how to pronounce that. If you know how, please tell me. How is the correct pronunciation for Pithing Needle. And double Grafidigger Cage for obvious reasons, even against Past in Flames. So that's pretty much it, and the deck is, in the version I'm currently playing, I forgot to switch out 1 swamp for 1 island. That was a misclick. That was a huge misclick I did. And so in the video you're going to watch right now, I'll be playing 1 island and 1 swamp, but that's a mistake. I want to play 2 swamps for obvious reasons, because I want to be able to go Etherium Pteramander turn 1 perhaps, or turn 2. We play Mistvault and Drossforge Bridge. I'm not used to that. You can play whatever bridge with black mana you want. I chose the blue because I'm more used to it, I guess. 4 Darksteel Citadel, 3 Spire of Industry, 4 Urza Saga. And that's pretty much it. So this deck is going to be pretty much interesting because many new cards I've never played before in Affinity, and you know how much I love Affinity, so I really hope this will work out well. So let's jump right into it, and thank you for watching as usual. So this is match number 1 against the Chubby, and we are keeping this. As you can see, Island is already a problem, because if this was a swamp, luckily we top decked the swamp. If this was a swamp, we could have gone Etherium Pteramander turn 1. Luckily we can still do it, but that's really not the optimal choice, an island, and that was a huge misclick I made. And once you submit the deck for a league, you are not able to change it afterwards. So as you can see, even here, double black would have been very good for Crabomination purposes, even though we don't have anything to pitch to Crabomination. So 1, 2, 3, 4 artifacts we couldn't have. No. Okay, so Karn. We're pretty much done, I think. I mean, we can kill the Karn. We can play the island. Oh, sorry, I played the Darksteel Citadel. So opponent gets the One Ring, of course. I hate the One Ring. Cookbook. Okay, so opponent probably playing the version with the new Emrakul. We create a token, but opponent is protected from us, so we cannot win on this turn with Lavaspur Boots, unluckily. I'm grabbing a Springleaf Drum, and I'll be trying to go Crabomination here, but since Crabomination says target opponent, and I didn't know about the target opponent until this very moment. We couldn't have targeted the opponent because of the One Ring protection, and now the opponent goes with something huge, and we probably lose the game. Yep, using Binding, bouncing everything we have to our hand. Godzilla's command with so many Undrafted Spawn tokens. Sphere, and I think we're pretty much done. Another Karn, and I just concede. So as you can see, Tron is probably a tier 1 deck at this very moment, because, you know, they can just go Eugene's Labyrinth turn 1, whatever land turn 2 into Training Sphere, and that is huge. That is huge. And it's so abusable. They can go like Eugene's Labyrinth turn 1, Chalice of the Void on 1, turn 2, Training Sphere, turn 3, Karn the Great Creator, grab whatever, the One Ring or whatever you want from the sideboard, and turn 5, basically win the game. That's an insane play pattern, especially on the play, if you don't play any answers like we do. So that was a sad match. Maybe without the One Ring, once more, without the One Ring, we might have had a shot with Crabomination. But that was not it. So let's check out game number 2. Game number 2. So as you can see, Modern Horizons 3 is already providing so many new interesting cards. Opponents started off with Devourer of Destiny. They look at the top 4 cards. One you put on top, 3 in exile. So they exiled Eugene's Binding, Map, and Power Plant. And as you can see, this is so explosive. Eugene's Labyrinth into Talisman into Expedition Map. Luckily we have the Damping Sphere. Opponent, Training Sphere. So that is not the best for us. Opponent goes with another Labyrinth. Karn, yeah. So as you can see, we're pretty much dead once more. Liquid Metal Coating, and I think we're done. I think we cannot really win. Let's take a look at the sideboard. By the way, I just conceded because I drew a Springleaf Drum and couldn't really do anything. He can just kill whatever he wants. So we boarded out Refurbished Familiar, Imskir, and the Welding Jar, the Frogmyr Enforcer, the Sojourner's Companion, and I think I boarded in Disruptor Flute, and I cannot really remember what. Yeah, Pithing Needle probably. Flutes and Needles. Yeah, that's it. Oh gosh, that was unlucky, really. Yeah, not the best matchup out there. And Trinisphere really shuts down Affinity, and as long as Tron is a thing with Eugene's Labyrinth and a Trinisphere, Affinity is not gonna be playable in any kind of ways. By the way, let's take a look at match number 2, guys. Tron is so unfair. I always hated on Tron while playing Affinity. So another Tron, okay. You know what's going on, right, guys? So I started off, since it's Tron, they don't have any early removals, I guess. So I started off pretty wild with a turn 2 activation from Urza Saga. And a potential turn 3 kill. Okay, Eugene's Binding, pitching the new Emrakul. Karn, of course, Engineered Explosives. Yeah, why not? So I think we grab some mana here. We shuts down the explosive with the Pithing Needle. And here I decided to go on Karn and kill Karn. Opponent goes with 6 mana. What's that? Sowing Microspawn. So when you cast that, if it's kickered, you exile a land, and then you grab a land for yourself and you play it. Okay, so we really need I don't know. I mean, opponent already has 3 cards in hand. We can swing probably here with our big guys. Opponent blocks with a Souring Microspawn. As you can see, it's already clear that I need more black sources or less Crabominations, because I can never cast that whenever I want to. Okay, so they exile the Pithing Needle with Warbreaker. But they don't have the mana to sack it. So I decided to play a Pteramander because of engineered explosives. No point in making a construct. Our opponent destroys almost everything I have on the battlefield, and they proceed to exile my Crabomination. So this thing has reach. I didn't know, because if you look here, usually abilities are up there, okay, reach and trample and whatever. So I decided to activate Etherium Pteramander and then swing, and the opponent just blocks. And then I realized that this thing has reach, and it's not written up there for, I don't know, for whatever reason. And opponent was casting probably the new Emrakul from hand. So I just decided to concede on the spot. That was my mistake, but even if I didn't attack with Pteramander, nothing would have changed, I guess. So Tron, not the best matchup, but I think it's not over. We had a chance here. Maybe if I were a bit more aggressive, I don't know. Maybe with Sideboard we can do that. Let's take a look at game number 2. Alrighty, game number 2, here we are. So I'm so glad that I'm finally back at playing with Affinity. I'm so happy about that. So a pretty decent start. As you can see, we still have the Crabomination, but we are lacking the black mana once more. So we can go... I decided to cycle away the Sojourner's Companion and grab a Darksteel Citadel to be able to use the Saga. We have the Lavaspur Boots, so we can surprise our opponent. And next turn we can even go Crabomination. Okay, what is the opponent doing? Sowing Microspawn, okay. Of course, they start every single game with Eugene's Labyrinth. Every single time. Okay, so my Saga is gone. So here I should probably go Crabomination. What can I find? So opponent only has lands. So opponent only has lands, and I played a Fortunate Seer that gets nothing, but it's still a 4/4 for free. Opponent only has 1 land and talismans on the battlefield. Now I can go Refurbished Familiar, so opponent discards the card he has in hand. I give the Familiar haste and I swing with everything. Opponent blocks the construct, otherwise it's lethal. Opponent's down to 1. They grab a Urza tower and they concede. As I told you guys, it's actually doable. We just have to see the right cards at the right moment before they do. It's not easy. I think it's like 25 to 75 the odds, but we can do that. G3. I actually love how this is working out. So we have a pretty decent hand with double Disruptor Flute, Saga, Damping Sphere, Refurbished Familiar, so we're pretty damn set to beat our opponent. Our opponent has a pretty decent mediocre start. Pretty mediocre start, no lands. If they fail to find a land, we can win. I mean, I named Expedition Map, so they go Fortunate Seer probably. Yep. That's okay. We're gonna make a huge construct. Opponent exiled. Refurbished Familiar? What? Okay. They don't want to discard. Okay, well, whatever. I grab a Springleaf Drum because I really want to go Damping Sphere. So here I played the Sojourner's Companion before the Damping Sphere because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to play the Sojourners due to Damping Sphere ability. Opponent conceded and we beat him. So as you can see, the only way we can beat the opponent is that they missed the land drop, and I instantly named Expedition Map with the Disruptor Flute. That was the key play, because he could have, I don't know, grabbed a Eugene's Labyrinth with Expedition Map and played some monstrosity, or I I don't even know, but you know, I don't know, the One Ring perhaps, draw some cards or whatever. We had another flute though, so we were pretty much set. And also 2/9/9 beating him and a 4/4, only a Tottenham here in defense. Okay, pretty lucky, pretty lucky match, but you know, it's not always Sunday, we say here in Switzerland. It's not always Sunday opponent, so once I can be the lucky one and he can be the unlucky one. So 1-1 in the league, not bad. The deck is doing things, affinity things. Nothing special, but it's good, feeling good. So on with the next match. Okay. Against who are we playing today? Adots 13. We have a pretty decent hand with double Saga, Refurbished Familiar, and Memnite. So why am I not playing Memnite turn 1? Because there is really no reason to at the moment. But I can play the Memnite now, so I am sure that I can use the Memnite to get 1 out of Affinity for artifacts, and I can play the Familiar without issues. So opponent is probably playing Izzet Wizards, which is an interesting deck. Flame of Honor probably is the card we want to hate on, plus the sideboard. So I go Ornithopter, and I stay open for Urza Saga. So as you can see here, I could have gone like probably Imskir. No, not yet. Galvanic Discharge, and they keep 2 energy. Galvanic Discharge is a really good card. So opponent only lands for now, only 4 cards in hand, would make a big construct. They cannot Flame of Honor, so if I grab Lavaspur Boots, it's probably lethal. Yeah, another construct. Yeah, it's probably lethal. If they don't have any answer, it's lethal. And I concede, yeah, that was lethal. So I haven't seen any Flame of Honor right now, but why play Spellstutter Sprite if you don't play Flame of Honor? So let's see what will happen in in game number 2. Pretty fast, and I love that. So that's an easy mulligan. We go down to 6. So as you can see, once more, we don't have the second black mana for Crabomination. I might want to fix that. So let's take a look at the sideboard. I didn't brought in Disruptor Flutes yet because I haven't seen any Flame of Honors right now. They probably played that and I have to wait on that, but not yet. So Bolt and Tune the Narrative and Snapcaster Mage, yeah, they must have. Oh gosh, what's that? Oh my gosh. Okay. This card is good. Well, at least against us. If they have Flame of Honor, yep, and they have it. So I think game 3 I will be bringing in Disruptor Flutes. So they block and they have another Harbinger, and we draw the second Saga. So I remember here I was speaking to my opponent saying, oh my gosh, I have 2 Sagas. I've never seen them in my entire life, and now I have 2, which is pretty odd. Fairy Seer, okay, that's a wizard. And the opponent was like, yeah, you won with Saga the game before, so it's pretty normal that you draw Saga. Yeah, but I mean, 3 Sagas against any other deck, it's GG. But Harbinger of the Seas? I probably cried too much. Third Saga, okay, I just decided to concede. There's no point in playing anymore. Third Saga. Ah, what the heck. Okay, so opponent was already down to 10 for some reasons. And this thing is great because you'll be open for counterspell. With Magus of the Moon in this position, you don't have counterspell. By the way, okay, let's take a look at the next game. I think that I brought in these Rakdos Flutes for Flame of Honor purpose. And 1 Crabomination and 2 Imskir are almost always out, and I think even in the main deck I might be able to want to cut 1 Imskir and 1 Crabomination. So I instantly go Disruptor Flute turn 2 as soon as I can on Flame of Honor. So this guy will have to pay 6 for a single Flame of Honor, which is almost impossible. So I am emptying my whole hand here. On turn 3, so much power on the battlefield, 12 power on the battlefield turn 3. And opponent just conceded because they had only 1 lander and tuned the narrative, and they don't have another land. And I have 12 power on the battlefield, so that's pretty damn good. Okay, we are 2-1 in the league as for now. We were pretty damn lucky. The game before, opponent was mana screwed, and even the match before, sorry, and even in this match, opponent was mana screwed in game 3, while we had a pretty explosive hand. Yet I think even if they had the mana, it was pretty hard to recover from here. And as you can see, if only one of those were like a Crabomination or an Imskir, this would have been insane. I mean, instead of this Frogmyr Enforcer, we tap our Frogmite, we go red here, we go black mana here, sack the Frogmyr Enforcer and draw like, no, we don't even have to. Imskir doesn't sack anything. And we draw like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We draw 4 cards out of Imskir. That's insane. That's a good card. I have to work on that. So 2-1 for now. Let's check out match number 4. Match number 4 against Elm YPL. So we mulligan once more and we keep a 6-hander. We start off with Mistvault Bridge and we keep the Memnite in hand, as I told you before. So the next turn we can go Pteramander and Saga. Opponent has Mishra's Bubble. What is the opponent playing? Probably Izzet Murktide or whatever. So we go Pteramander safely. I'm keeping the Memnite. I really want to keep the Memnite as long as I can, because there are no reasons to play it now. Memnite. Opponent casts Thundering Falls, consider Bubble. Yeah, opponent is playing Izzet Murktide. They're probably playing a Galvanic Discharge in the main deck. Has a new addition. So, opponent is already way behind us. I hope for them that they have a Flame of Honor, but it's already too late to play it. We grab Lavaspur Boots, and it's probably lethal already. Opponent casts Counterspell, but that doesn't matter, it's already lethal. Wow, turn 4 lethal. Opponent did basically nothing, just a bunch of Vicious Bubbles and a Counterspell. So with the start we did, it was impossible for our opponent to stop us. So that was the easiest win in the league, probably. Sorry, opponent. So yeah, next game. Here we are. Let's take a look at the sideboard. So as usual, 1 Crabomination and 2 Imskirs out. And I think we brought in once more the flutes for Flame of Honor and Murktide, probably. And Engineered Explosives too. So apart from that, I keep a 6-hander with... I could have gone like Memnite, Thopter, Frogmite on turn 1. I probably should have. Okay, I'm missing on lands. I don't like that. So I'm baiting with Lavaspur Boots, a counterspell maybe, but opponent doesn't counterspell. So another thing I hate of Frogmyr Enforcer is that I don't have the red mana. So probably I should play one more Drossforge Bridge and one more Spire of Industry instead of the other bridge, the blue and red one, the blue and black one. Sorry, I should probably play 4 Drossforge Bridge and 1 Spire of Industry more. So we are playing, and we are in a decent spot now. Still with one land, because opponent played Cast into Fire on our land. Opponent has an only heath and a big Murktide. So opponent is down to 10. I can go. So I should have probably attacked with everything here and bring the opponent down to 7. I don't know. I actually don't know. Opponent has 5 cards in hand and 2 mana open, which is not great for us. 6 cards in hand. So as you can see, we are stuck on one land, which is not great. Opponent counterspell. Yep. So I try to attack with everything here. Opponent gets black on the Frogmite, opponent down to 4. And on the next turn I can equip Lavaspur Boots on the Ornithopter and try to win. But opponent of course has double Dragon's Rage Channeler. So Pteramander and opponent counterspells once more. I think I should have attacked here because this thing, I don't know. Yeah, now probably, but opponent has 4 cards in hand. If they have 2 removals, yeah. Bolt here, yeah, I mean bolt here, block here, takes 2. Next turn they go in for like, yeah, that wasn't lethal yet. That wasn't lethal yet, but you mean I was so behind. So if they didn't play that Cast into Fire on Mistvault Bridge, I could have gone Crabomination and win the game out of it, probably, sacrificing a Frogmite. So what I don't like about Crabomination is that, yeah, I mean, you sacrifice a card and you get one in exchange, so, but sacrificing is part of the cost. So if they counter that, you pay the cost and it's a 2-for-1. Not always good, so Crabomination is a good card, but only in certain spots. I have to think about that. Well, okay, game 3 once more. I'm actually having a lot of fun playing with MH3 cards. Not because I like those cards particularly, but because there are so many different new archetypes coming to life. And there's a new one I really want to try, which is like Doorkeeper Thrall, Torpor Orb, Null Drifter, Flage, Galvanic Discharge, Static Prison, Tune the Narrative, Counterspell, you know, Prismatic Ending, sort of tempo-ish control-oriented deck, and you close out the game with Flage and Null Drifters. And that's a thing I really would like to try in the next days. So I'm really sorry about the amount of content that is coming out lately. I don't really have much time because I have many hockey games. I know it sounds odd because hockey usually is played in winter and we are in the middle of summer, but I play inline skater hockey, so it's outdoor with oh wow, that's a Blood Moon. That's not great. You know, with rollerblades, and so I think you basically play that only in Switzerland. But by the way, sorry for the lack of content. I will be posting more, and that's it. So even though opponent played Blood Moon, we managed to play Imskir and draw a bunch of cards, and now opponent is probably dead. It's not that... okay, opponent goes with Murktide, Regent. So here I should probably fire the Frogmyr Enforcer into the Murktide Regent. But I'm not sure about that. So I equip here, and I equip there, and I swing. And they double block on the Imskir. And probably that wasn't the best, because now if they kill my Frogmyr Enforcer, I'm in trouble. Luckily, I have another one. So they counterspell the Frogmyr Enforcer, and I go equip everything on the other Frogmyr Enforcer, swing. I should have swung with the Memnite too. I don't know why I didn't. Probably misclick. And now I tried... yeah, I didn't because I wanted to play... Of course, I wanted to play Crabomination. And oh, we see a Murktide Regent, which is super sweet. And we instantly equip the Crabomination. Opponent only one card in hand. What are we going to do? You concede. Okay, so yeah, I didn't attack with the Memnite because I wanted to tap the Springleaf Drum, add black mana with the Memnite. So I attacked it with the Frogmyr Enforcer before, and after that I cast the Crabomination because it's way stronger than Frogmyr Enforcer, since opponent was tapped out because they countered the first Frogmyr Enforcer. And with Crabomination we hit probably the strongest thing we could have hit in opponent's deck, so we were pretty much lucky. We hit a Murktide Regent, and I mean that's GG, because we even had Lavaspur Boots and Shadowspear and 29 HP against 7. No cards in hand. At this point we were almost unbeatable. Whatever we were to draw, like Pteramander or whatever. We had the drums to fix the mana. Yeah, that was great. So we are 3-1 in the league, which is pretty good, damn solid. Even though we played 2 times against Izzet and 2 times against Tron. So it's not really a representative of what the modern metagames looks like now. But we still have 1 match to play, so stay with me for the last one. Here we are playing against Hearts 99. For the 5th match in the league, we have to take a mulligan and go down to 6. This is happening a lot lately. So as you can see, another Crabomination plus Frogmyr and no other black mana source. Opponent once more Scalding Tarn, so it's Izzet all over again. Probably, no, Undercity Sewers. What is the opponent playing? Reanimator? Dimir control, probably. Dimir Scam. Shadowspear. Frogmyr Enforcer. So if we are to hit like Spire of Industry next turn, we can play the Crabomination. Opponent casts double Undercity Sewer. Another Polluted Delta. Okay, so we can play the Affinity plan here with Saga and just chill while swinging with constructs, I guess. So I'm a little bit afraid of the One Ring at this point. Or Bowmasters, but we don't have that many draw card things. Just the Imskir. Opponent isn't really doing anything, so that must be Dimir control. We go Construct Token. And I mean we can... No, we are lacking 1 mana, but if we grab Lavaspur, I grab Welding Jar to protect my construct. Oh, opponent, Bowmasters. Yep. I mean, Bowmasters is the most predictable card in the entire modern format. I should have picked probably Pithing Needle on the One Ring. Opponent passes the turn. Opponent is confident enough. So I am not equipping the Shadowspear because, well, opponent just conceded. Because in case opponent responded with something after this attack, I would have been able to play Imskir. Even on Bowmasters, I don't really care with all the body I have on the battlefield. I don't care. You can ping me for like, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5. You can ping me for 5, but I will draw 5 cards. That's just so much better than a 5/5 and 5 random damage across my things on the board. You can kill just, I mean, Ornithopter and Frogmyr Enforcer and 1 to me. I don't care. I have a 5/5 and so many other things, and I draw 5 cards, so that was worth it. But we didn't even need to, so we won before that. Wow, we are 1 game away from the 4-1. Can you believe it? Rakdos Affinity. Is it Pauper? What the fuck? I'm sorry. Okay, so this game here is Game 2, Match 5. We're 1-0 in this match. Opponent gets Preordain, and we have to take a mulligan again, by the way. So, Darksteel Citadel. I mean, next turn we can go like Swamp, Memnite, Frogmite, pass the turn. Oh, Mistvault Bridge, Memnite, and double Frogmite. So as you can see here, this forces me to go next turn Spire of Industry into Imskir, Iron Eater. But if the opponent has Bowmasters, I'm most probably dead. Or like counterspell of any sort. Frogmyr Enforcer to bait the counterspell, and the opponent takes the bait. And we swing for 5 damage. Okay, opponent down to 12. The One Ring. Okay, that was predictable. Grafidigger's Cage. I don't even know why I have Grafidigger's Cage in this deck. Probably against the Scam the Grief. But I don't know if it's worth it. So Imskir, I drew a few cards. What is the opponent doing? Opponent is not in a good spot. They have to play another ring. Okay, Murktide. So I think here I should have attacked with everything. Okay, Bowmasters. I can activate once more in response. So I think here I should have attacked with everything. But I don't know why I didn't. That was a huge mistake, and I think I lost the game. Tell me in the comments, what do you think about this? If I were to swing with everything, I would have probably won. Because opponent now took control of my Etherium Pteramander, and I cannot do damage with that. So I use Imskir to fire a Frogmite into my opponent's face. Opponent is drawing a lot with the One Ring, and they even go with, Engineered Explosives and a Drown in the lock. And I am almost dead. So, what are the opponent's plans to survive the One Ring? Of course they have the Subtlety, because why not? Okay, bottom. So what's my opponent's plan to survive the One Ring? Okay, they don't survive the One Ring. They were looking for Archmage's Charm and finish me off with Archish Bowmasters. Okay, so probably, I should have attacked with everything on that attack. Opponent probably was blocking Etherium Pteramander. Yeah, I am 100% sure that if I were to attack with everything at that point, I would have won the game. Well, I didn't, so it's 1-1. I still have one chance to grab the 4-1. We still have a chance, guys. So that's a pretty decent starting hand. So I boarded out one Imskir, and I boarded out the Grafidigger's Cage because there's no point since the opponent is not scamming anything. And I brought in Disruptor Flutes mostly. So pretty decent start with double Pteramander on turn 1. Can I even activate them on turn 2? Like 1, 2, 3, 4? No. Bowmasters, of course, they 100% have Bowmasters every single time in their life. I mean, that's just absurd. I can swing with the Pteramander. They will just... I should have probably boarded out Pteramanders, actually, because they have Archmage's Charm, which is awful. I mean, why playing Archmage's Charm? What are the one drop that you want so much? So I decided to go Imskir and actually don't care about Bowmasters, but the opponent of course has the Subtlety. And I'll tell you why opponent will play the One Ring now. 3, 2, 5, 4 mana and the One Ring. Of course, this was the perfect curve from my opponent. Perfect. Insane. Insanely good. This feels really unbeatable. Yeah, I should have won the game before with that attack with everything and deal just 1 or 2 damage to my opponent and close out the game. They would have just died to the One Ring. By the way, the One Ring just moves, and of course here comes the Archmage's Charm. The One Ring just shifts games away from reality. At a certain point, you are losing so bad, you just play the One Ring, chill out for 1 turn, draw 1 card, and after that you draw 2 more, and dang, you're back in the game. It just doesn't make any sense in my opinion. Complete nonsense. Drown in the Loch? Bowmasters, okay. Why pinging the construct? You could have pinged me. Shieldred, okay, so the perfectest curve ever, because now I cannot even play Imskir because I will get so much damage out of double Bowmasters and Shieldred. But they are stupid enough to block with Bowmasters, so I can play Imskir, but they have a counterspell too. That's insane. That's so insane. Murktide, of course, I mean, it looks like they play 4 of every single card. I hate playing against control. I mean, another Bowmaster, okay, yeah. Why not? So, triple Bowmasters in 19 cards. So I wonder what are the other 41 cards that they are playing, because they didn't even miss a single land drop. So, as you can see here, we have Crabomination, which is basically useless if we don't have anything to sack it on. Perhaps it was my fault because I didn't boarded out a single Crabomination, but I boarded out 2 Frogmyr Enforcers and a Frogmite. So I think I only have 7 targets for the Crabomination main deck. I mean, we were close to play the Crabomination even like this, but it's way faster and way sooner with Emerge. So probably I should have cut 1 Crabomination and I should have kept 1 Frogmyr Enforcer, probably. Also, with Imskir against a deck with Bowmasters, Shieldred, and also Etherium Pteramander against a deck with Archmage's Charm, I think we were just pretty damn unlucky. So this league is 3-2. Let's talk about that in the wrap-up. Here we are in the wrap-up. So as I was saying before, the changes I would like to make is cut 1 Mistvault Bridge, put 1 more Drossforge Bridge into the deck, cut 1 Mistvault Bridge, play another Spire of Industry / Glimmer Void, probably. And the number of lands is 19, and I feel like it was okay. Welding Jar was probably one of the most useless thing in this deck, and I can probably cut this and play 1 more Refurbished Familiar because of the Crabomination. I can even cut 1 Crabomination and 1 Imskir and probably play like something like another Refurbished Familiar and I don't know, probably a Pirate Spellbomb against Bowmasters, probably. And I think this will make the deck way lighter and easier to play. So about the sideboard, I think that Curious Totem doesn't really do anything right now. I don't know, I should probably cut this and play probably 1 more Flute and 1 more maybe Graveyard 8. I'm not sure though. We only play artifacts and we don't really have any removals, any active interaction in this deck. We only rely on purely on how much we are aggressive and how much pressure we apply to our opponents. So I also feel like playing 4 Ornithopters, 4 Pteramanders, 2 or 3 Refurbished Familiar, we might want to play Cranial Plating. 2 Cranial Platings will be good. So maybe cutting 1 Welding Jar, 1 land, and playing, I don't know, 2 Cranial Platings could be great. But I don't know, I would work on this. So I think that's all for today. I'm pretty happy with the results. And I'm not that happy because we played 2 times against Tron, 2 times against Izzet, and 1 against Control. So not many good decks. I mean, I wanted to play against, I don't know, Ruby Storm, or Boros Energy, or Nadu, or one of the tires that are going on right now in the modern metagame. And I don't know, Dimir, Mono Black Scam with Necro Dominance. I don't know, one of the tires deck I would like to face. But that, I think this was a friendly league, so people were probably trying things out. So I don't really know. I don't really know why we didn't face any tire decks, but 3-2, pretty decent. I had so much fun with the new cards, especially Crabomination sounds great. And Imskir is way better than I expected, actually. And I think we can make this work even better. If you have any suggestions about the deck, or if you tried your own brew and you want to share something with me, just write it down in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do it, because this will help me a lot publishing more content, and this will reward me for all the hard work I put in this channel. So thank you for watching once more, guys. You are the best. Stay tuned for another video coming, I hope, very soon.